Hey, all right. Okay. Well, welcome to Wednesday Yoga Warriors class. I'm so happy to be with you today. My name is Karen Vasselbush, and we're going to be going through some probably gentle, easy yoga right now. The weather outside is pretty hot. We're in the middle of summer, and it's always good to take a break. And you know, slow yoga and deliberate yoga can be very rewarding. I really have come to appreciate it. You will need a strap if you have one. If you have a bolster, that's I may be using a bolster. Those are handy to have, and blocks that we'll be using blocks also. But right now, let's just find yourself in a comfortable seat. I'm assuming that you may have coolness around you, so you can feel comfortable in this afternoon heat. And if you're able to sit on the floor or a chair, whatever feels good to you, we're sitting in easy pose. It's called Sukasana. And I haven't looked up the origin, but I'm wondering if Sukhasana, Sukha, comes from similar to our word, meaning sweetness and lightness, because they always describe Sukhasana as an easiness, and that easiness means there's a lightness to it, a gentleness. So find your seat, and just, if you want to lower your eyes or close your eyes, some people like to close their eyes because it helps them go within. We're going to be quieting our mind, the busy mind that's there to, gives us a lot of good information. And sometimes it can get a little overstimulated. So today we're going to just bring our gaze down and close your eyes, or like I say, look down, and just let's start with taking a few easy breaths. And you can let your hands rest on your knees, either palm up or palms down, or just even in your lap. And we're going to just take an easy breath in through the nose and out through the mouth. And let's do that 2 more times, in through the nose and out through the mouth. And 1 more time. I'm going to be sounding my crystal bowl here. Hope you can hear it. Taking easy breaths to remind us that we're moving into a relaxing yoga, beginning of class. This bowl is for the solar plexus, so it helps us rest and digest. Just let that sound wash over you. You can open your eyes and let your fingertips rest on the floor. This is a grounding mudra. We're going to bring our hands and turn the palms up to the ceiling. Just bring the palms up over the head, maybe looking up to the ceiling, bringing the palms together, and then bringing them right down to the heart. And let's do that 2 more times. Grounding mudra, bringing the palms up. Taking an inhale and exhale, come down. And as we're doing that, we're stretching the spine a little bit. I'm lowering my chin as I bring my hands down to my heart. And one more time, we're coming up and down. Hands come to the heart center. And let's set a few intentions for our class today: to stay present, to be mindful, to treat your body with kindness and compassion, and to really enjoy, and really just showing up is the biggest part of yoga. So congratulate yourself for showing up today for class, for allowing yourself this time of quiet reflection, of stretching and strengthening for our body. And then just take a moment and set any personal intention you'd like right now. And I'm going to read you a quote that I came across by Nisargadatta Maharaji. Wisdom tells me I am nothing. Love tells me I am everything. And between these two, my life flows. Wisdom tells me I am nothing. Love tells me I am everything. And in between these two, my life flows. Now let's bring our palms up to the ceiling. Open them wide and then come down to that grounding mudra. And we'll do that 2 more times. Fingertips come up. Open, palms out, and down to the floor. And 1 more. And open out, stretching up and down to the floor. Great. Now you may have noticed, look down and just notice if your legs are crossed, which way you crossed them. We're going to extend our legs out. We're going to just shake them out a little bit and recross them the other way. Great. Grounding mudra again. Coming up, arms up. And down to heart center. Grounding mudra. Palms come up. Each time you want to get a little more length in the spine, reaching up to the ceiling as high as you can while your sits bones are on the floor, of course. I'm going to come up 1 more time. And down to heart center. And let's reverse that, bringing it up. Stretching up high, feeling the sits bones. Reaching down to the earth, head comes up to the sky, chin's tucked a little bit as your hands come down, and we're going to come up again. And down. So we're gaining some length in the side body, and we're also increasing our oxygen and breath into the body, oxygen into the body. Great. And let's just take our hand and put 1 hand on the lower abdomen, 1 hand on the chest, and do some 3-part breathing. Breathing into the belly. All the way up to the collarbones, and then exhaling collarbones, ribs, belly. We'll do that 2 more times. Breathing into the lower abdomen. Inflating the sides of the ribs, coming up to the collarbone. And exhaling out. You can do this with your Ujjayi breath, ocean breath, so your mouth is closed. Nice. Come off the, if you've been sitting on a blanket, I have been, or a bolster, want to come off that blanket or bolster and just extend your legs out. And this, you can just lean back on your hands, and we're just going to circle our ankles. So we're just going to bring the feet up and down and around. Just kind of getting a little range of motion for the feet. Up, down, and around. Up, down, and around. And then reverse. Toes come up. Point the toes. Toes come up to the ceiling. And around. And you might even let your legs move a little bit, so you're feeling this in the hip and the whole leg. Shake it out. Let's bring our legs together a little bit. Let's extend the toes up to the ceiling and see if you can even get the small toes reaching up to the ceiling. And I'm extending my sits bones, so I'm really sitting up nice and tall. And then I'm going to point. So we're just going to do a little point and flex. Flexing the foot. Pointing the foot. So we're flexing and pointing. And flex. Nice. And then you can squeeze the toes together in fingers and then spread. Fingers and toes come in. You can put your thumb under your hand if you want. And then open. Close. Squeeze everything and open and release. We're just getting a little range for the feet. Let's come back to Sukasana. And if you want, you can put a little bit of extra. Sometimes I like to just put a tiny little wedge behind me so it'll help me sit up tall. We're going to do just a few side lengthening side extensions. So we're just going to bring our hands in that grounding mudra and then just extend your right hand up. May look like your left to you, but extending up my right hand, I'm going to reach up to the ceiling as far as I can. And then I'm going to lean to the side. I'm going to let that hip, the right hip, stay in contact with the mat. I'm just leaning over, getting a nice stretch. You can look up to the ceiling under the arm, and you can look down to the knee. Inhale, looking up. Exhale, looking down. One more time. Inhale up. Exhale down, and then reaching as high as you can with the finger way up to the ceiling, and bring it down. Nice job. Let's just roll that shoulder a little, and roll it the other way. Just kind of feel that openness in the side ribs. We're going to bring the left arm up, and then we're going to reach it up a little bit higher. And before we go over towards the right, pressing down the left sits bones or the left hip, thinking about grounding, looking down at the knee, and up to the ceiling, and down. They always say the lats are the first things to go, so we really want to keep them stretched, activate them. It has a lot to do with our breathing. Of course, the diaphragm attachments too. We're going to come right up out of it. Great. Extend the legs out. Let's recross them the other way. This time we're going to take a twist. We're just going to bring our arms up and then just going to turn to the right and just let your hand fall between your knees, between your legs, and the other arm comes around towards the back. And we're just going to look over the shoulder, the right shoulder. Growing the spine, lengthening the top of the head, letting the sits bones sink to the earth and really stay attached there. Taking a full breath in, bring the arms up as if you're holding a beach ball, big ball in your hands. We're bringing that ball around. And then we're going to drop the arms again, fingertips between my Sukhasana legs. My other arm is behind me. I have the advantage of a blanket, so I'm actually going to pull up on that, push up on that a little bit. And turning. And imagine you have a string on top of the head, and someone's just like lengthening through the top of the head. And you also have this magnet on the tailbone, and that's gluing you to the earth. Great. Inhale, exhale, come back up to the arms. Way up high. Let's do that one more time. Turn. And this time, turn, swivel your head so you're looking towards the front of the room. Sitting up nice and tall. You can let that hand migrate over to the opposite knee. Breathing, breathing. Nice job. Release, bring it up, bring it back, other way, twisting. Let that hand migrate to your left knee, your right hand. Look over your right shoulder. Lift it up through the top of the head. So many things to think about. And press down through the tailbone. And remember to breathe. In and out. It's not as easy to breathe and talk with this because we're twisting a lot of things, but it's really good for the organs. Come up. If you've just had a large lunch, it's not so good to do twists. You might want to wait for that. So lengthen out your feet again, and let's move on. Let's come to quadruped. So we're going to come to hands and knees. I'm going to come on the sides here. We're going to do, I really like to do the traditional things we do most of the time, the cat-cow, because it's just a great way of stretching the spine. So we're bringing the up to a cat, bringing the spine up towards the ceiling, tucking the tailbone a little bit, and exhaling, going to neutral and cow. Now you could think about just moving from the tailbone, so it takes on a little nuance, a little change. If you think about really tucking the tailbone, letting the rest of the spine follow along for the first one. And lengthening, and then you can think about the mid-back as being the one that's the prime mover. So the mid-back is really moving you now, not the tailbone or the hands. And come through. And then you could think the heel of the hands, actually the shoulders are kind of driving this, and your head is the one that's moving this posture. So we've divided it up. The neck and the head. Let's think of the middle back now. Just placing your attention there on the mid-back line. And finally, placing our attention again on the lower back, the sacrum and the tailbone, tucking. Great. Let's open the knees wide, bring the backs of the inside of the feet together, and come back into child's pose, and lengthen out through the arms. So you may want to put if you have a block handy, you could always put a block under your forehead for resting. We're going to have our arms be a little wider than normal, so they're really on the edge of the mat. If you're able to bring your head down, you can do that. We really want to think about sinking through the tailbone. So you're stretching the arms out. You're going to feel a pretty strong stretch under the arm. You're going to feel the scapula is moving out and away, breathing in and out. And let's just lift up your head a little bit and just walk your right hand to meet the left. You can either be on top or it can be right beside. And then you're going to just stretch and twist. This is like a child's twist. We're stretching the side body. Nice stretch. We're going to look up again, walk the hands wide as the mat, and then walk the left hand over. And lean back, child's pose. Great. Walk back. Put the elbows and the forearms on the mat. And we're just going to press up into puppy dog pose. Let your head rest. You can even put your head down on the mat if that serves you, or a block. You get like a little bit of grounding feeling. Your head's down. A little stretch in the back of the neck. Great, and let's come up again to all fours. And we're going to do just a little core activation right now. We're going to do what's called sunburst. Or I think they call it that, firebird. Not sure. We're going to extend the left leg out and just have the toes curled under. And first of all, let's just stretch the back of the calf. So we're just going to lean back a little, just a few inches, and rock forward. So we're going to rock forward and back. We're on our hands and knees. You might want to put padding under the knee if you need it. If this bothers your wrists rather, excuse me, you could go down on your elbows and your forearms and do it that way. We're going to just kind of rock back and forth, and then come back to center, and let's lift the back leg so that you can put your hand behind, just keep your hips even, and then we're going to lengthen out through the right arm. We're going to hold it, core activation. Take a breath in, let the elbow and the knee touch, and then lengthen out. Let's do that 2 more times. Elbow to knee, and cat, and then lengthen out. 1 more time, elbow to knee, Lengthen out. Good job. Bring the knee down. Let's come back to child's pose. And maybe just reverse the hands, swap them back and forth. We'll come back up and do this on the other side. So we're going to lengthen out through the right foot. We're going to rock back and forth just to get a little calf stretch. My toes are curled under. I'm getting a nice stretch for the back of the leg. Great. And we're going to come back to centered pose. We're going to just lengthen out through that leg. And I'm just checking. I'm just putting the back of my hand on my sacrum to make sure my hip is lifted out. It's even. And then I'm going to lengthen out through the left arm. Really pressing through the fingers. And then I'm going to just curl under, elbow to knee. And lengthen out I'm looking down at the floor. Inhale, exhale, elbow to knee. Come back. Do that one more time. It's okay if you feel a little crooked. We're not all even on musculature on both sides. Lengthen out. Great job. We're going to let that foot go down. Let's come back into that child's pose again with the arms pretty wide. And just let that forehead rest either on a block, or you can even make a little pillow with your hands. Just rest that. Good job. Let's do a little work for the upper back and the spine. A lot of back bends happen actually with moving up through the spine, not using the neck at all. So we're going to just come down on our abdomen. Very easy. And just let your forehead rest on the mat. I'm going to have to move this way so you can see. So your forehead's resting on the mat. And your hands are right under your shoulders. And I want you to just lengthen through the top of your head and press down from your ribs to your pubic bone and just lift a little bit. We're just going to do a little baby cobra, and arms are really close by our sides. So we're lifting up. You're going to look to the right with your face, and then you're going to look down to the floor, and then you're going to look to the left, and you're going to go center. Try that again. Look to the right, down to the floor. We're in baby cobra. Look to the left, and center. Once again, look to the right, down to the floor, look to the left, center. Now press up through your hands. Come back to child's pose. If you feel any sensation that doesn't feel comfortable in the low back, you can just give it a gentle tap with your hands. Good job. We're going to come back down on our hands and knees in what's called Sphinx Pose. So Sphinx Pose, my elbows are directly under my shoulders. And my hands are parallel to one another. My feet are on the floor. The shoelace part of my foot is resting on the floor. And I want to just gently tuck the tailbone under. Just gentle. And engage the core without tightening the glutes too much. Just a little. We're going to just raise the left foot up, flex the foot. And I want to just have you lift the knee up off the floor, just a half an inch. And then lower that and bring it down. Then you're going to do the same thing. You're going to bring the right foot up to face the ceiling, the knees bent. And you're going to raise that leg from the hip to the knee, and then bring it down. So you're going to go back and forth. We're going to bring the right foot up, presses the ceiling, almost like you're trying to walk on the ceiling, and come down, left, up, I'm trying to mirror you and come down. One more time. Up, down, bend the knee, press the foot up to the ceiling, and come back up. Now just let your head and your facial cheek rest on the floor, so come all the way down. Take a breath in. Feel what it feels like. Notice what it feels like to be prone on the floor. See if you can breathe, feeling the breath in from the belly, the rib cage and the upper chest. Nice. And exhale. So gravity is kind of impeding our breath, but we're still able to breathe a little bit. You know, we're going to feel this. Have to make effort to breathe, to use our respiration. Now just bring your forehead to the mat and let your arms come out forward about wider than shoulder length. You can open your legs a little bit. We're just going to do opposite arm leg lift. So we're just going to lift about couple inches up off the floor, the arm, the right arm and the left leg, and then release. And then the left arm and the right leg. This is almost like a Superman flying. We're going to just go back and forth. We're stretching away, so the fingertips are stretching away from the toes, reaching, coming down. Yeah, the forehead comes up off the mat a little bit. Great. If you want to take a final lift, we're going to bring our arms around by our sides. We're going to lift everything up off the floor. The feet, the arms, the legs. If you breathe, you may notice a little rocking motion. Great. Now, lower your body down. Let your forehead rest on the right arm or the top of the right hand. And if you can, with either your strap or your hand, grab a hold of your left ankle. And we're just going to do a little stretch for the quad. You're going to flex the foot and just, you might notice the knee will come up off the floor a little bit. Now you can also make this very easy for yourself and come onto your side. Go onto your side and just do a little quad stretch. You'll feel it, right? You want to kind of keep the knees together a much. You don't want to splay them out a little bit. You don't want to bring them together a little bit. Great. And we're going to do that on the outside. I'm going to roll over. You can see my back. So I'm coming around, grabbing hold of that ankle, or you can use a strap and just lifting that quad off the floor. Or, like I say, you can roll onto one side and do it this way. Hello, quad. How are you today? Great. And release. Let's roll onto our back. So we stretched out the quads a little bit. Let's do a little bit with strap work with the my favorites. Old standard Sukhasana 1. So we'll take our left foot, put it in a strap. You can either extend the right leg or keep it bent with the foot on the floor, but we're going to have the leg extended up into the air. Leg extended in the air. My right arm is out to the side like a T shape. I'm just stretching the back of the leg. Sukasana 1. You can hold on to the belt with both hands if you like too. I mean, it's up to you. Whatever you like. We're going to take an easy breath in. We're going to open the leg out to the side. And keeping that activation of the core. Think about the hips being even. The points I'm talking about are the hip points. If you just put your hand, we call them hip points. The iliacus. All right, you don't have to be technical. Take a breath in. Now with your core, bring your leg up and across the body. Exchange the belt to the opposite hand. So my right hand is holding the belt. My left leg is up in the air. And I take my thumb of my left hand and I just put it right by the crease of the left leg because it reminds my low back to stay on the floor. You may feel the strong stretch on the outside of the hip. That's where it's meant to be. Maybe soften the knee a little bit. Don't lock any joints. So many things to think about. And remember to breathe. Always want to be breathing. Enjoy the stretch. The lengthened foot, maybe you have to lengthen up the right leg. That foot can be flexed or pressed against the wall. Then you can release that leg. Hold the left knee in your hands. Take a breath in and just bring your head up to meet your knee. Hello. Little core activation. Inhale, exhale back. One more time. And exhale back. And one more time. Great. Extend that leg up and bring it all the way down. And let's bring the right leg up. Squeeze that knee towards your chest. And like I say, you can start with either a bent left leg or an extended left leg, foot flex. And then bring the foot up to the right foot up to the ceiling. Strap around the foot. Supta Padangusthasana 1. So I am lengthening out with my arms. I just want to feel that alignment. If you were standing and doing this, remember the standing leg is the leg that's lengthened. It has to be right under the hip. It doesn't want to be out to the edge of the mat. It wants to be aligned. It wants to be lined up. Best for you, for your alignment, for your body. And then we're going to open the leg to the side. Let's soften the knee a little bit. You can remind your hips to stay on the mat, your sacrum, by putting your left hand by your lower abdomen on the left side there. Take a breath in, bring the leg across, hold the strap in the other hand. And again, I'm taking the thumb of my right hand and just putting it in the crease of the leg. Breathing in and out, getting a nice stretch for the outside of the leg, the fascia, the hip flexors, everything. It feels fantastic. The more you flex that foot, the stronger the stretch is going to be, especially if you bring the little toe towards the outside, like you're trying to flatten the foot, like you're walking on the ceiling. So you're pronating a little bit. Release the knee, the leg, the strap from the leg, and bring that knee towards you. Take a breath in, come up, forehead comes up to meet the knee. Exhale down. Let's do one more. Exhale. This time you can lengthen out, stretch out that knee and come up and meet that leg. Another core. Great. And come down, bring that leg down. Let's have the feet stand on the mat. Let's press into the mat with our arms by our side. Bend the elbows like robot arms, and let's come up and just do a little bridge. Very easy bridge. Send that energy from the hips all the way down through the knees. And it's as if you had a block handy, you could put that between your knees because you want your knees to be in line with your hips. So you want to think of that energy just shooting out from the hip points through the top of the legs, out through the knees. This is bridge. You can bring your arms down if you like. You can remove the block and just do it without. Breathing in, breathing out. A little bit higher bridge, and then lower down. Great job. Let's bring the feet so that they're flexed and they're up towards the ceiling. Let's cross the legs over at the highest point. You can decide which way you want to start. And then we're in Gormukhasana, knee over knee. We're going to open our arms to the side, and we're going to just turn. So whatever direction, whatever knee is on top is the direction you're going to turn. My right knee is on top. I'm going to turn my lower body towards the right. If you happen to have a block handy, you can put it under the knee. So you're getting a little twist. Breathing in, breathing out. And it's so relaxing. You notice I just paused right there because it was like, oh, my body just went, oh, we're in a twist. This is relaxing. This feels very good. It feels soothing to my nervous system. Taking a breath in, taking a breath out. Just allow yourself extended arms in a T to enjoy that twist. If you're twisting whatever direction you're twisting toward, you can turn your head away from that direction. So I'm twisting to the right. I'm going to look towards the left a little bit, get even more of a delicious, wonderful, soothing sensation, relaxing, feeling that safety net. Nice work, everyone. Let's come back. Bring the legs up towards, feet up towards the ceiling again. Cross the legs in the other direction. So for me, my left leg is on top. It may be different for you. We're going to turn in the direction of the top leg. Again, you can have that block handy to support that knee or not, whatever was working. And we're going to look in the opposite direction. Breathing in, breathing out. I want you to stay in that, hold that just a wee bit longer. I'm going to come up for a second. Come up for air. And hold that stretch, that twist, and then gently come out of it. Nice. And let's make our way up to standing. Doesn't matter how you get there. You want to bring some blocks to the front of your mat. Nice. So let's just stand in Tadasana for a moment and take a moment to just make an assessment and feel, notice all that work you did on the floor, how it feels, how it lands in your body. So you might notice, oh, my respiration's really, open now. I feel like I'm a little more open, I'm present, I feel grounded. Whatever it is, just take a moment. Close your eyes for a moment. Just notice that. We can just stand in a very relaxed asana. Do a little assessment. Bring your head back over your shoulders. Shoulders over hips. Pulling up through the feet. Nice. And then let's just turn the palms out. This is called supination, like you're holding a bowl of soup. And we're just going to bring them up halfway. And we're going to turn the thumbs under and to stretch the shoulders a little bit. And we're going to open them up. We're just going to take these turns, little turns, under and over. And we can continue just coming all the way up to the top of the top, so your arms are right by your ears. I'm going to take a breath in. My thumbs are facing back now, and I'm just going to lean over towards the left. I'm going to mirror you. This is Nitambasana. And then reaching out before you come up, reach up towards the ceiling. Take a breath in and lean over to your right. Reaching. Nice. Then come up and then bring your arms down and let's just shrug the shoulders. Nice. One direction, we'll go forward and then we can go back. Great. Come to that front of your mat and come back up into the arms out sides and then bring them together in Namaste. And bring the arms up over the head and let's swan dive towards our blocks. So we're coming down in Utkatasana. You want to soften the knees. Come down as far as feels comfortable. If your hands meet the floor, you can tent the fingers, whatever works. So you want to just relax the shoulders, relax the head, and then we're going to come up halfway. So you can use the blocks. Come up halfway. I'll show you what it looks like on the side. I'm using the blocks and I'm pressing out through the tailbone. And then I'm coming back down again. Strong stretch for the hamstrings. And then coming up. Let's lunge back with the left foot. Bring the blocks with you. So now we're in Anjaneyasana. We're in forward bend. The knee bent. Knees over the ankle. I'm going to lower the knee onto the mat, and this you might want extra padding for this because we're going to come up in this forward lunge. My knee is over my ankle. I'm going to lift up to the ceiling, look back just a little mini back bend. Now, if it doesn't serve you to bring your arms up overhead, you can bring them down by your sacrum and actually lean back and lift the chest. And then come forward again. And this time we're going to do a little twist. I'm going to take my left elbow and bring it over my right knee. Look over. And do a little twist. And I'm going to come back to center. Oops. And we're going to take the blocks, and you can just pop your knee up. We're going to be opening up arms the other way. I'm standing now. And then we're going to come forward back to that forward bend, Uttanasana. We're going to come up halfway, send the right foot back. Anjaneyasana. Down to your knee, all the way up and overhead. Back. Move forward. Twist. Elbow over knee. A few breaths here. Find your block. Come back up, come off the back knee, and we're just going to open out the other side. So make sure keep that knee over your ankle. Come back forward, and this time let's open the legs, the blocks away from yourself, and let's come into downward dog, downward facing dog if you like. So downward dog. Breathing in, breathing out, press back through the hips. Let's just make some pedaling with the feet. We're just going to pedal the feet back and forth, in down dog, back and forth. Let's come up to three-legged dog with right leg up. Come through, and then come up to your warrior one. Warrior one. Nice job. Great. Let's bring the arms out to the side. And then in. And out. And in. And out. And in. And out. Nice job. Let's come forward. Back to down dog. Lift up the left leg. Three-legged dog. You can open that hip out. Step forward and through. Come up to warrior one. Bending that knee. Bending the elbows. Good job. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Nice. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Dive down to downward dog. Go into downward dog one more time before we bend the knees. We can either come forward into plank or just bend the knees and come back into child's pose. Good job. An active yoga practice always followed by some quieting. I'm going to do some easy restorative now. I'll give you an option. You can either, one of my favorites is to come and do a twist, restorative twist. For this, you need a few props. You need your blocks, probably at a stacked like a bookends here. I hope you can see that. And then I'm putting the bolster over it. And I'm going to sit next to the bolster and just kind of drape myself over for a twist, if that's available to you. Now, if that's not available, if you don't have a bolster, we can do a twist. You can do a twist lying on your back. For this, I would take a blanket, put it under my head and my knees, arms out in a T, and I'm just going to bring my left leg over my right. And I'm just going to turn. We did this earlier. And I would take the time and set it up and put some blocks under that leg so you could feel like you're getting some support in that twist. This one has a different feel to it than the one where you're here, you're supine, you're on your spine. The other one, you're prone. So the prone one has a little more of a protective feel to it. This one might have a little more feel of openness, but they're both soothing. So I'll let you get set up in either one of those twists. I'm going to come up. Again, I'll demonstrate a bolster twist. These are good investments. Getting one bolster is about all you need. It's a good investment. You come right up over it. You want to bring your hips snug to it and then just kind of move. Now, I realize large-breasted women, you may not want to be completely on the bolster. You may have to be on the side. For that, you could even take a blanket and use a rolled-up blanket for your comfort. Because the word is here, you want to feel comfortable. You want it to feel comfortable to you. And you want to feel that slight little twist in the lower back because that really activates. It sends signals to the body. You think of your spine like a circuit board. You know, definitely. Lots of nerve endings in the spine, and all the chakras are connected to those, and all that. So let yourself get set up in this restorative. I'll bring my crystal bowl over. Hopefully you can hear it. I'll be playing this a little, and I'll tell you when you can switch to the other side. But for now, landing in a supported twist. Becoming aware of the flexibility of your spine. Feeling the groundedness of the bones. Noting the evenness of breath. So relaxed. Feeling the strength in your body. Calmness in your mind. Breathing in from your nose if comfortable and exhaling through your mouth. And even in this twist, you may notice the rise and fall of the breath in the body. The ebb and the flow. Resting for a moment. Letting go. And whenever it's comfortable for you, you can move to the other side. We want equal opportunity. Just take a moment and move to the other side for this twist. No rush. Once you get settled in, again, notice the flexibility in the spine. Feel the groundedness of your bones, the weight of the pelvis. Breathing in from your nose if comfortable and exhaling softly through your mouth. Feel the breath expanding through your torso. Feel the ebb and the flow of this breath. Stay in this for a few more moments before Shavasana. Of course, if you feel like you'd like to stay in this for Shavasana, that's perfectly fine. There's no rule here that says you can't. If you're going to move in Shavasana, we're going to start with Shavasana now. I'll continue with the bowl and a little bit of verbal cues for relaxation, a Shavasana, for calmness, contentness, and breath. Shavasana, lying down or seated, whatever feels comfortable to you. But I'd suggest maybe closing your eyes, letting go of noting if that's comfortable for you, resting in the presence of the sounds of the Shavasana. Allowing the awareness of space, maybe feeling the movement of air, the breath. Abiding with ease, with that Sukhasana, that Sukha, that ease with every breath. Accepting this opportunity to be open to a growing peacefulness and strength. The growing awareness that action and observation are just two parts of the same coin. Sometimes we're active, sometimes we're not. In the words of Thich Nhat Hanh, present moment, wonderful moment. Resting in Shavasana. And just slowly begin to become aware. Be opening your eyes, moving fingers and toes, coming back. Aware. Okay, we're moving into the end of the class. You carry your yoga with you, of course. And if you want, you could just come to an easy seated position for a moment. Putting your hands together in Namaste. Now repeat that quote. Wisdom tells me I am nothing. Love tells me I am everything. And between these two, my life flows. Namaste. May peace be with you and may joy reside in your hearts. Thank you all.